So this video will probably be on the shorter side, but consider this a follow-up video to this one Mario Kart video I did several months ago. I made a video discussing the possibility of a Mario Kart 9, what they could add, what form it could take, reasons going for or against the eventual Mario Kart 9, whether it be on Switch or not, yada yada. It was a whole discussion that y'all should check out if you haven't and are thinking about Mario Kart 9. But for today, I want to follow up on the chances of Mario Kart 9 coming sooner rather than later. Now, a lot of people, like I said in the last video, think we're not going to get it anytime soon, for plenty of good reason. Nintendo sticks with a single Mario Kart per system. They've stuck to that even with porting 8 from the Wii U to the Switch. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still surprisingly at the top of the Switch's sales charts, with now over 35 million units sold and maintaining a decent gap between it and Animal Crossing, despite New Horizons was on track to taking that spot. 8 Deluxe still going really strong. Again, they're in no position to rush or hurry along with a new Mario Kart, regardless of how many assets it reuses. So where am I getting the idea that 9's chances have risen? From Nintendo being Nintendo and doing a mix of the unexpected and the quote-unquote unnecessary. Case in point, Splatoon 3. The main reason isn't even Mario related, let alone Mario Kart related, but the mere fact Nintendo is making Splatoon 3 for the Nintendo Switch and is coming out next year gives Mario Kart 9 considerable odds in its favor. When I say Splatoon 3 is unnecessary, that's not me throwing shade at the series or claiming it's bad. I want to play Splatoon, I don't know when in the future that'll happen, but I do have some interest in the series and I am heavily aware of how massive the franchise got since its birth, especially in Japan. My point in claiming unnecessary measures is when you look at Splatoon 2. It was doing completely fine. Out of the gate, Splatoon 1 on Wii U sold just under 5 million and was the best-selling Wii U game in Japan. For a brand new shooter IP from Nintendo, those sales are stupid amazing, especially on the Wii U. Splatoon 2, on the other hand, on Switch, went on to go over 12 million, more than double what Splatoon 1 sold. Splatoon's a massive franchise at this point, it goes without saying. The last Splatfest ended a while ago, over a year I think, but the active install base was still relatively large, it still got a lot of free updates, plenty of people still played and supported Splatoon 2 even after its last Splatfest. It was sitting completely comfortably in popularity, sales, and general success. It could have coasted throughout the rest of the Switch's life, no problem at all for Nintendo or any of Splatoon's developers. But then, last February, when we got a Nintendo Direct, they dropped news that Splatoon 3 is coming next year. I'm happy Splatoon fans are eating good, and I'm sure the game will be great, but don't take this the wrong way when I say they kind of had no real reason to make Splatoon 3 this soon. As far as sequels and timeframes go, on surface level it makes sense Splatoon 3 is coming next year. 4 to 5 years on these new HD Nintendo sequels seems to be the trend for how long they take, but Splatoon is a multiplayer shooter. It's one of those multiplayers akin to Smash and Mario Kart that last for a long while and push systems. Yes, I'd argue Splatoon's a system seller at this point. It had a bunch of free updates, new content, weapons, maps, modes, and whatnot. Splatoon 2 was in such a good position to remain the Splatoon game for a while longer. But no, they're making a new one, with a new premise and atmosphere based on the last Splatfest like they did before. Splatoon never had a precedent of sticking to one game per system like Mario Kart, but the appeal and longevity surrounding Splatoon is very similar to Mario Kart in that aspect. This also goes against the philosophy of having those two games on the same system, sequel or not, directly competing with each other, which I'm sorry, but like 9 times out of 10 is usually flat out not true. A few years ago, New Super Mario Bros. U got ported to the Switch, and just weeks after, Nintendo announced Super Mario Maker 2, a game that harbors the former style and aesthetic with significantly more content and levels, and yet New Super U is in the top 10 best-selling Switch games, selling double what Mario Maker 2 did. Super Mario Galaxy 2 didn't compete with Galaxy 1, both still sold really well despite 2 selling less. Breath of the Wild 2 is the biggest game on people's wish list at the moment as far as Nintendo fans go, and no one thinks one's going to compete with the other. On a multiplayer front, every single mainline Pokemon game has not only sold ridiculously well, but consistently well across every single generation, despite how similar a lot of these games' third versions and sequels are. The Mario Party series also has the exact same scenario on a smaller scale. This reminds me of when I made that one video discussing enhanced ports versus basic ports versus actual sequels when people were debating Smash Ultimate wasn't a sequel, because this is a similar topic, and similar reasoning when it comes to Splatoon 3 and the hypothetical Mario Kart 9. When you have series as big as Splatoon 3 or as massive as Pokemon, regardless of whether or not it'll suffer the sequel-itis thing where it'll sell less than its predecessor, people won't care as long as at most it gives new ideas and expands what that first game said. Like, that's what sequels do on the regular. If not that, at the very least, people just want a new entry for that series. People eat up Pokemon regardless of whatever controversy surrounds that series now. Splatoon 3 will probably sell well given the Switch's ever-growing install base en route to surpassing the Wii's, and I'm pretty sure they'll introduce new ideas, modes and mechanics and such to give Splatoon 3 its own identity and appeal. Compare that to Mario Kart, and a lot of people felt very, very, very similar. People don't like Tour, Live Home Circuit was more of a toy than a game that lasted 2 weeks for everyone, and in spite of how stupid good 8 Deluxe is doing, a ton of people still want a new, proper Mario Kart, since 8 came out almost 7 full years ago. The ideas for tracks, character roster, costumes, modes, etc. is vast for the series. Check out my last Mario Kart video on the matter. That they have plenty of ideas they can incorporate. Even with Splatoon 2 doing very good for that series, they're making Splatoon 3, and having no big or major reason to do so other than either the fact people want it from a popular series or because we want it because we're Nintendo and we do unorthodox things. And now Mario Kart can stand to use both those reasons and more for Mario Kart 9 ever coming to the Switch. Now both this and my last video could easily be for nothing. I can easily be wrong about all of this, and Nintendo will just wait it out until the next system since 8 Deluxe is carrying itself super hard right now. No harm foul, whatever the outcome is, it's all speculation. But Splatoon 2 was carrying itself pretty strong as well, yet Nintendo doesn't care about that. The idea of 3 invalidating 2 doesn't seem to bother Nintendo, let alone we don't know how true or false that idea is, since they're going full throttle on another entry this soon. And with how much bigger 8 Deluxe is, there isn't much of a reason to assume it would be impeded any further if 9 came. So who's to say they wouldn't do the same for Mario Kart 9? Point is, Nintendo does so many weird moves and ideas, sometimes with less logic and reason than otherwise, for better or worse. And them doing so with Splatoon 3 could be indicative with how they revisit Mario Kart if it's within the next couple years, as the Switch still has a long life ahead of it. Mario Kart 9 is still a decently prevalent talking point among Nintendo fans. People want one, people love new Mario Karts, and slowly but surely there are more reasons for people to clamor for a new entry, and it'll only be a matter of time until we get one, if sooner being the bigger question. Thank you for watching, and stick around for more Mario Kart and Mario videos, whether gameplays, discussions, analyses, and more. Stay super.
Yo, hey, 妹妹，嘿，我来呀！